WWETV official media platform for the Legacy Park home.
Hey, I'm Dominic Santana, and you're watching Worldwide Entertainment TV.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Miss Goldi to You radio show, First Lady with the Facts on Culture Zine Radio Network, where urban culture lives, and we're all about the independent artists, old school artists, new school artists. However, I got an exciting show for you tonight. I'm waiting for West Coast Rapper Gonzoe on the check-in. We're going to be chopping it up, getting the facts on his history with Ice Cube and Tupac and the Outlaws and Caution and the beef he has going on in the industry and Legacy Garden. I mean, we have so many things to cover. And I'm so excited about it. Big shout out to Kristen, always listening, always a rider for Tupac. Y'all got to follow her. On Instagram, Kristen Parkett. I love her. She's super, super cute. And if you have just tuned in, you are now live with the Miss Goldi to You radio show, First Lady with the Facts on Culture Zine Radio Network, where urban culture lives. Big shout out to WWETV, everywhere that you want to be. And if you don't know where to be, just log on to worldwideentertainmenttv.com, and you can also subscribe to the YouTube channel, Worldwide Entertainment TV, on Apple and Roku TV. So, you know, we've been talking about our guests all evening right now. So, on the line right now, I have a West Coast born rapper, Gonzoe. Gonzoe, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Miss Goldi?
Thank you for being a guest on the Miss Goldi to You radio show and also Worldwide Entertainment TV. It is such my pleasure. We got people on the line. I can't wait to talk to you. Also, you know, people that love how you ride for Pac and everything. And I just want you to start off. I've been telling everybody that you was from Cali. We played a track with you and Pac, The Life That I Lead. And
right.
I've just been basically listening to a lot of your tracks, and you get like so crazy with it, and you know you don't have a problem with the truth, and that's what I so much like and respect about you. So, you know, you've been in the industry for a long time, and I want to take it back to your group Caution. Tell me about that group and what it was like being signed to Ice Cube and Lynch Mob Records.
Well, I mean, you know, that was a dope experience because me growing up in Los Angeles, of course, Ice Cube being from Los Angeles, and you know, Ice Cube being basically the moving mechanism behind the NWA shit in terms of the writing. You know, it was just dope growing up in LA and seeing NWA flourish from there, but then once I got a chance to work with them, that was just kind of like mind-blowing, like you know, like a dream come true, you know what I mean?
So were you like traveling with Ice Cube and NWA when they had WC in the Mad Circle?
Well, WC in the Mad Circle, that came, he started like messing with Pac when Cube started Lynch Mob Records in terms of putting their albums out and shit. They'd been knowing each other for years, but
right.
WC in the Mad Circle was on low profile records and shit back in the day, and a few other record labels, but you know they were more like Cube and Dub C was like more homies than anything before Cube got his record label back in the NWA days. But, you know, NWA days, I was probably 8 years old. I can remember going to an NWA concert when I was about 8 years old with my cousins and shit. But, you know, those guys is a little bit older than me.
Right. So it's safe to say that you came up in the industry era when hip-hop kind of took the crossover and became more of gangster rap. We all know that the Cali, the West Coast, I'm from the East Coast, but we all know the West Coast started the gangster rap and basically brought the reality of the streets to the studio.
Right.
So I listened to something. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that when my first thoughts of rap music, I can remember back in the day it was basically Run DMC and shit like that. I can remember going to the movies. My grandmother taking me to the movies to see Beach Street and breaking and shit. You know what I mean? But the gangster rap shit came more in like late elementary, middle school type shit.
Right. So, tell me about I listened to your Ice Cube diss record. So, tell me about the beats that it seems like you just go ham on anybody who disrespects you, doesn't conduct business in a proper way. You don't have a problem with, I would say, giving the industry your ass to kiss.
No, because I feel like it's like, and I would say that record, he didn't deserve that. I will say that publicly. I was young. I didn't know the business at that time. And, actually, what I made that record for, and I thought I was right, I was actually wrong, and he saved me millions of dollars. Like, I probably wouldn't be making no money today off anything if I would have, if he would have done what I wanted him to do or whatever the fuck I was mad about at that time. It was, he was right. You feel me? And all the business decisions, he's always been right about those. But like I said, when I was fully engulfed in dealing with business with Cube, I didn't really know the business. We was young, just still living with our mothers and shit, But I always had that attitude. Like, he never scared me, though. You feel me? So I wasn't scared to do it.
I don't think you're scared of anyone. So would you say that you regret your decision with how you handled the whole situation with Ice Cube? Where do you think you would be if you would have stayed with Lynch Mob Records?
Well, no, I don't regret it. I don't regret anything because it's life. It's happening. You know what I mean? I'm in a good place right now. I don't know. It's a lot of my friends who stayed in their situations. And, they had, when I went solo and had to build my career back up, when, I lost my deal on Polygram and Mercury and went solo, it was a few years to where there was a few cats that was doing better than me. But,
right.
It was just those years that the struggle, you know what I mean? And once they spent all that little money up that they gave them, it was the independent game started popping. And by the time everybody else caught on to it and caught on to the social media shit and the digital downloads and streaming, I had already been planting my flag for years. So,
right.
it worked out for me because it's still a lot of cats right now. I don't want to say any names, but friends of mine who are still stuck in situations and major deals, and they really not getting no money. They got to do other things to get money, which we also should be doing. But I'm saying these are guys who are, Grammy nominated. These are guys who got triple platinum albums, and you know what I mean? And really ain't getting no real
money. They don't have money.
Niggas ain't really, exactly. You feel me? Niggas ain't riding around in Ferraris and, you feel me, can't go drop 50 in the jewelry store and get a good night's sleep. But, you know what I mean? Like, it's a difference between, and I will say this, East Coast niggas and the down south niggas, it's very few people on the West Coast who are entering the music game who have that mind frame. You know what I mean? There's so many hands in the pot before it gets to the actual person who deserves it. You'll never see someone reaping the benefits like that unless you like Nipsey Hussle. You know what I mean? But it's very few
I think that's kind
motherfuckers.
of going on everywhere. Everybody's selling their soul for these record deals and glorifying what's going on. And at the end of the day, they can't even buy themselves a meal because it's all owed out. Nobody's reading paperwork. Nobody's realizing that. I mean, I don't remember the last time I actually bought an album or a CD or anything. So I know they're not making money off of records. Only thing they can do is make money off of you being a new slave.
I tell you this, Miss Goldi. Miss C, you're never supposed to ask a woman her age, and I'm not. But I will say this. We're just not buying records. But right now, it's the most
Right.
in the history of music in earnings.
Mhm.
So cats are getting ridiculously rich right now. For instance, Lil Sean, I ain't never bought a Lil Sean album, but that nigga just bought him a house for $6 million in L.A. That money ain't just coming out of
And
nowhere.
I don't even know who Little Sean is.
I mean, Big Sean, not Little Sean, Big Sean. My bad.
And he just bought a $6 million house, and I never even probably heard not one of his records, and that's a big reason why your interview was very important to me, because we don't really tap into the West Coast beyond Death Row or beyond NWA. It's like it's so many West Coast artists out there that have been putting in work like yourself for so many years already. It's like, where's your... I mean, I know you're getting checks because, you know, I watch your videos. You be popping heavy crap on there, on the internet and everything. So, tell us about
Well,
you being
I'm
signed to
clear
Death
that up
Row.
for you. I'll clear that up for you. Shit. Again, the money situation over here, you got to know how to get it. You know what I mean? I really can't give up too much game just repeatedly, but every time I go on Instagram, every time I'm on Twitter, I'm trying to tell motherfuckers something to drop some sort of knowledge on them to where, you know, the game now is really not about conforming. That's it. Like, don't conform. You feel me? The minute that you walk into a record label, you already game goofy. You know what I mean? The minute that
Right.
you're looking at your big homie for protection, you game goofy. The minute you let niggas go in your pocket talking about you need a manager and the motherfucker finna take 20%, when we all got smartphones, laptops, and can speak the same language, I mean, what is it that this guy is about to say or do? I mean, you get to a point where you need people to manage your business. I get that.
Right.
But when we're taking off right now, you better be, like a mute or, deaf and the people can't speak silent. I don't know, but I don't understand why, artists need validation from other people. And it's usually people that don't look nothing like us, culture vultures, who come in, you know
Right.
what I mean, and getting a free check.
That's exactly what they're
That's
doing.
true. That's true.
There's Don Slim's on the line. He's also from Cali and from New Orleans. So
Hey.
he's also have a show on the Culture Z radio network. So I want to get into this whole you being signed to Death Row and your introduction to the big homie Tupac.
Right. Well, I never was signed to Death Row. I never was signed to Death Row. How that worked was Caution was managed by Suge's management company called Nightlife Entertainment, which managed Tupac, DJ Quick, basically every artist on Death Row except Caution and DJ Quick. So when they went and done shows and went on tour and shit and went on the All Eyes on Me tour and all that, that's how Caution and DJ Quick was on that tour, because when Suge went and opened up Club 662, whenever them niggas hit the stage, we hit the stage, like whenever, because that was our manager, and he don't make money when we make money. So When they did a soundtrack,
Right.
we was on the soundtrack. That's how we was on the Jackie Chan soundtrack. Or, you know, whatever Death Row was doing at that time, that's how Caution was on all of that shit. And that's what really caused the rift between Ice Cube and us because, you know, Death Row was pushing the envelope. And we were like, man, why in the fuck we ain't making more money when we fucking with Cube, when we making all this money with these dudes? You know what I mean? So now we kind of questioning him. And, you know, we like, damn, we might as well be signed to Death Row. So all that was about to happen.
Right.
And then Easy died, and then Pac died. And then, you know, niggas didn't know what was happening, you feel me? Because that was definitely in the cards. That week, Suge's wife at that time, Sharitha Knight, she had a meeting with Ice Cube. And all of us, you know, was supposed to meet at this meeting with Ice Cube. So she's sitting in Ice Cube's office with the other two members in my group. But Suge told me not to go. So I'm riding around L.A. with Corrupt. Man, Corrupt is riding around L.A. in his new Land Cruiser when the Land Cruisers had just came out. And, no, the Lexus truck, excuse me. What the fuck? The Lexus trucks. So, fucking, so we call in on the three-way. And, you know, I'm, at this time, again, I thought being disrespectful was being tough and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I really didn't get it at this time. So I'm calling in and getting these instructions from Suge, knowing I'm about to go get a big-ass check because I'm about to fucking, you know, sign the Death Row. But it didn't work out like that. I ended up, instead of me signing the Death Row, after telling Cube to fuck himself, and he like, all right, whatever, and just hung up, you know what I mean? And we never worked with him again. But I didn't sign the Death Row. I ended up signing the solo deal with Priority Records. With, you know, Suge and his wife, they worked it out so I wouldn't sign with Priority Records. But again, that was all, you know, like, why would they do that? Because it ended up us still fucking with Cube. He was signed to Priority Records. So again, it enraged him, and he made Priority fire my A&R who signed me, which is Ben Baller, who does all the jewelry for everybody right now, and everybody be rapping about him. The Ben Baller jewelry, the Asian cat.
Right.
That was my that was my A&R Priority. So Cube made Brian Turner fire him, fired his ass. And matter of fact, I just talked to Ben this morning or last night, I forgot, but shout out to Ben Baller. But Cube got him fired and made them sell my contract to Polygram, which was closing at the time. So they sold it to fucking Mercury, which was also closing. So I ended up on fucking Private Eye, Mercury, and that's where my first solo album came out.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts about this A&E documentary that's coming on tonight and about them losing the gun that killed Tupac?
Well, all that shit is just being fabricated to get viewers and listeners. It's just like, it's basically turning into right now, we're all compelled. We know that they're not going to show us any fucking video of Bigfoot. We know that. We've seen every video of Bigfoot and every compelling video of a UFO. We've seen it all. But if some shit came on tonight about nigga, Bigfoot, we all in front of the TV.
Go watch
it. The front like, nigga, fuck it, I'm still going, nigga. I don't even know. Like, I just like Bigfoot. I like the trees. I don't know. Feel me?
That's real.
Like, come
That's
on,
real.
man.
That's real.
This shit is bullshit, Goldi. Like, I'm so disgusted. It's just, and then, you know, speaking of the Yukmouth shit, I'll just go ahead and break the fucking ice. This is why, man. It's like, these are people that I've been, you know, dealing with for years in terms of, you know, Yukmouth is an opportunist. You know what I mean? I would say I thought I'm a loyal person. You know what I mean? But have you ever had a friend who always just was done some messy shit? You like, damn, man, we grew up together. Like, you feel me? Like, why? How could you be messy? Like, somebody always telling you so-and-so was talking about you. You like, nah, I don't believe that shit. Feel me? They're like, man, I'm telling you. They're like, man,
and you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy is he was saying he don't know you, he don't know who you are, and he was saying all of this stuff. But then I clearly have a song that y'all did together. So
wait a minute,
and
he
it's
said
like
he don't know
a video
me.
of you from like 2009 or something where you was shouting him out. So
Whoa.
evidently he clearly knows you.
Goldi, did this retarded? You said he didn't know me.
Yeah, he was like, who is he? I don't know him. He basically saying like you was some nigga that don't nobody know. That and whatever the other dude, crazy face looking dude.
Bosco.
They basically, it's a lot of people
100.
basically saying that you ain't nobody and you just making up these beefs with them and they don't know who you are, but they talk about you like they know who you are.
Man, listen, Bosco is a nigga that lives in Inglewood with his mother. Feel me? Like, why? Listen, it's not like if nobody knows who I am. If nobody knows who I am, how did I end up on a song with Tupac? How did I end up with deals with Ice Cube? How did I end up on Billboard? How did I end up on Grand Theft Auto, which sold 1 billion video games in a week? Yuck ain't on that. I couldn't make time go in the studio and say caution in this bitch with my verse and him coming in rapping after me. Like, Yuck is stupid. Like, Yuck's been
Right.
I met Yukmouth with the nigga with my big homeboy Laylaw from NWA at Summer Jam. Long ass time ago, I don't know, maybe 96, 97, like back when the Loonies was popping, Caution was popping. You know what I mean? Me, him, and Tech Nine, and my cousin Fats. I mean, come on, man, that's ludicrous. I don't even have to explain this. If he said that he don't know me, we got to do an intervention because, you know, this nigga white.
You said we got to do an intervention?
When his daughter was born. I mean, I've been around this nigga for 20 years. So if this is what I'm saying, it's like 20 plus years, more than 20 years. You know what I mean? And so if he's saying that, I can't even. That's like one of your first cousins coming home from jail and dressing up as Monique now. The nigga left as Dwayne. You know what I'm saying? And now he don't want to acknowledge that he knows you. You like, get the fuck out of here. Nigga, it's Thanksgiving. I'm not trying to hear this shit. You feel me? I'm not calling you Monique. Like, come on, man. I'm not going to entertain that.
We got some other callers on the line. We got Kristen Parkis on the line. Gonzo, do you know who Kristen is?
Yes, I do.
Kristen, say hi.
I do know who Kristen Parkis.
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm good. I'm blessed.
Why we got both of you on the line?
Oh, you know what? I forgot about something. Miss Goldi.
Yeah.
Are y'all familiar with the album that I just put out in September?
No. Which album is that?
I just put out an album called The Code in September.
Oh, The Code?
And yeah. And
wait a minute, and
it has Yukmouth on there. A song with me
where
and
you at
Tech
on
Nine.
there? Is that where you at, or what song is that?
The song that Tech Nine and Yukmouth is on is called what the fuck is that called? Still Breathing.
Where you at?
Still Breathing.
Mhm.
But I'm saying, my point is, how can you not know somebody when you just rap on their album 2 months ago and said their name in the verse?
Right.
That's why I downloaded the song.
How can you not know nobody when you're
like,
in videos with me? Like, you just gotta Google Gonzoe and Yukmouth and 10 or 15 videos gonna pop up with me and him. Like, what's wrong with this dude?
Seen the videos and everything. That's why I put the question on the table for the people that are just watching what he's saying, basically trying to discredit you, like, you know,
Can
who
I tell
are
you
you
why
or
he's
whatever.
trying to discredit me? Let me just tell you this. I want to get this out there before I forget, because I'm not a real petty person, but now I'm about to be Tom Petty. I'm about to be King Petty. Nigga about to be real petty right now. Listen, all I'm saying is this. This is why he's trying to really just, like, avoid the question. Because, one, his own sister, and this is on my kids. I just sent them to Chuck E. Cheese right quick, just so I could get this off and them not bother me real quick. Listen, Yukmouth has walked in the police station and said more than, "Where's my lawyer?" Yeah. This
Wow.
is why this is what he don't want me to tell y'all. Like, all this shit where y'all seen TMZ. All you gotta do is Google Yukmouth right now. The first thing that's gonna come up is George Lopez. Yeah, the Mexican comedian. George Lopez clowning how this nigga gets robbed all the time in LA. So
wow.
Yeah, he basically said that he don't get robbed all the time. Did you
Wow.
watch
I mean,
his response to what you were saying?
I really didn't watch anything because I don't have to. Like, I don't have to. This is Christian. Have you ever had someone that you really know, that you know that they be lying all the time because their eyes start twitching, or you don't even look for the twitch no more? Like, why do I have to hear his response? I don't have to prepare for anything. All this shit actually happened, and you can go on the internet and look, Google Spider Loaf robbing Yukmouth. That's one incident.
Whoa.
Then Google Suge Knight robbing Yukmouth.
Damn.
Amazing.
I mean, you could just.
So I wanted to ask you, I got a question
Go ahead.
for you and Kristen. Do you guys know about the theory that they said that Biggie was wearing Tupac's jewelry after the quad robbery?
No, I never heard that before.
I believe that.
Have you?
I seen that. And you know what?
Basically, what they saying
believe
is that the jury was given to Biggie afterwards.
I believe that. I seen someone on the internet just today with but then again, you know what? On some real deal shit, and I now there's that they're talking about a bracelet. But if I'm not mistaken,
talking about the ring, the chain with the cross on it. They talking about the ring that Tupac had on his ring finger was on Biggie's pinky finger. The watch or the bracelet or whatever that was, and the chain.
I believe that. Niggas is petty like that. I mean, it was actual beef. Like, come on. Like, this is what I'm talking about. If I catch, and me and Yuck, we got love for each other, supposedly, but the shit could get out of hand. So if my niggas catch him right now, they're going to rob him again. There going to be another videos on the internet. They have videos on the internet where motherfuckers is taking this man's jewelry into the jeweler, and the jeweler is telling him, man, this shit's fake.
Wow.
And, it's not like just a Jesus piece. This shit is proprietary with his name on it. In diamonds,
wow.
Supposedly. You feel me? But let me tell this story, man. This nigga Suge pulls up on Yukmouth and says, call the realist. The realist was at Yukmouth's video shoot 2 minutes away. He said, call the realist. The realist got some unfinished business with me that needs to be taken care of. Now, the realist is friends with us. We ain't friends with, we know Suge, but nigga, you ain't supposed to be taking no instructions. The minute you pick your phone up and follow this nigga's instructions, you a hoe. You follow one instructions, you a hoe. So what does he do? He picks the phone up, calls his friend, sets his friend up, and does exactly what Suge says. He says, yo, meet me at the gas station. His homie like, for what? He's like, man, just meet me up here. He hangs the phone up. Suge says, I told you to tell him to meet us at the grocery store in the parking lot, not the gas station. You think I'm stupid. And turned his back on him. That's when the 8 niggas that was with Suge, one of them was the ugly nigga Bosco. Mind you, before Yuck got out the car, before Yuck got out the car, he took all his jewelry off and set it on the front seat of the car. Now, these is what the robbers is telling me. Just called me last week. The realest and the nigga from my other nigga. And no, these ain't the robbers. My nigga from the Peblos, he was just there, but he a blood too. You know what I mean? So they didn't do nothing to him. And this is why Yuck was saying the realest in them set him up because his homie didn't do nothing. No, nigga. The nigga he talking about, he from the projects. They wasn't going to touch him. He ain't no rapper. He a real blood. You feel me? And unbeknownst to everybody else, Suge's not no real blood. He took that shit and ran with it. This nigga was in college playing football and all that type shit. You feel me? It was this nigga's out here in the real world that was extorting him. Like, that nigga's not the biggest fish, and he got fears too. But we'll get to that in the next interview. Anyway, so
right.
Suge turns his back on Yukmouth. The niggas jump Yukmouth, and he plays like he's knocked out. So they get his jewelry out the front seat. As soon as they pull off with his jewelry, he gets up, gets in his car, and drives off. The next instant is this. Somehow this nigga ends up in the police station giving a statement. Somehow the police call Suge Knight. Somehow this shit end up on TMZ. If I'm lying, I'm flying. What? He ain't rich right now. He didn't sue Harvey Levin because it's true. TMZ not finna put this nigga on there snitching, giving a statement to the motherfucking police and he didn't do it.
Right.
Come on, man.
That's true.
This is why I don't exist no more. Because, ain't nothing worse than having a snitch jacket. You know what I mean? And one of your best friends on the earth is telling.
That's real.
The biggest, one of the biggest challenges and questions that I have is, how do we properly honor the legacy of Tupac? And everyone knows that I work over at Legacy Garden Park, which is formerly the Tupac Shakur Art Center. And a lot of people say, Tupac wasn't from Georgia. Why is his thing in Georgia or whatever? That's where his mom wanted it. And, I mean, if anybody want to question that, that's who they need to question it with. This is what she wanted. And this is where she put his statue, and it's bricks in the ground that Kristen has a brick in the ground. And it's just so much of their spirit and the things that she wants, the things that she wanted for that community. So right now it's Legacy Garden Park, in which we still want to honor the memory of Tupac and Miss Afeni Shakur. So we had a GoFundMe, and Worldwide Entertainment TV did the media blitz on the center opening back up and what the mission of the center was to, honor Tupac, put a new statue there, and turn it back into a center to help the community and help the kids. So TMZ, again, got wind of the story and made it go viral. And, of course, we got that good old letter that, stopped us from raising the money for the statue and for the center. And, I mean, if it wasn't for people like you and people like Kristen and a few other people would get so sidetracked with the memory and the honor of Tupac. And we don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. someone who comes from the hip-hop era. I met Tupac when he was in New York with Tretch and Film and Juice. This is when I met Tupac, and I met Ice Cube and Eazy-E and everybody when they was in New York on tour, and with Jermaine Dupri being the record boy. And this is where I come from, the era where you come from, where this all started from. And when people had a goal and a mission, and now those goals are being so sidetracked, like people that you're talking about, that's not even honoring the culture. They're not honoring what he taught. And what do you feel like we could come together and do to make sure that that statue goes up in that Legacy Garden Park?
Are you talking to Gonzoe or are you talking to me?
Gonzo's call got dropped. He's going to have to call back in. I'm like, oh, my God, where's Gonzo? Hey, Kristen. So, wait, we have another caller on the line that's been on the line for a minute, calling from Georgia. Who do we have on the line? Oh, they call got dropped, too. Everybody's call is getting dropped. So, Kristen, what do you have to say on this situation? What do you feel like we can do?
I don't know. It's really sad because the fans, I don't know what's wrong with them. They just don't want to give. I don't know what their problem is. They want to post his pictures all day, but they don't want to give. I don't have a solution. I don't know what to say.
Really, and I see people invest money in so many other things, like as if we had a strip club, or if we had a liquor store, or a club, or something of that nature. It seems like they support those type of things quicker than they support things involving the arts and children and nurturing our communities.
I know I tried to, when the center was open, I tried to get the other fans to send money there. And there were a few fans that did, but they always have an excuse. They don't have no money. I said, if everybody would just send $1, he's supposed to have millions of fans worldwide. If everybody would send $1, and, they had excuses. They couldn't afford to send no money. They would, they just said terrible things. And I don't even want to repeat the things that they said, but it was just sad. It was very heartbreaking. I know one of their biggest beefs is they said if his music would come out, they could make money, if they put more of his music out. I know they made comments like that.
But even if more of his music got put out, the money would go to where it been going, which is the record label. It wouldn't come to, his mom kept the center running off of albums that was put out after he was gone.
I know she put her own money into it. She kept it going by herself, and that was terrible. I feel guilty. Personally, I feel like the fans didn't do enough, and I feel like some of his celebrity friends could have done more as well. Everybody could have stepped up and done more.
I definitely feel like the fans and the celebrity friends they still could do more. And it's like, are we just going to let his legacy die? What's supposed to happen? We just going to keep wearing T-shirts and we're going to keep watching the videos, and it's like nobody's taking into action. That's like being part of a church and never actually practicing what you're taught.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I push as hard as I
can.
can,
but say about this?
Huh? What do you say?
What do you have to say?
Hey, I agree with it 100%. He had millions of fans. When it comes down to it, and it's like that even on Pac level, Pac situation, and anybody else. It could be somebody that was known in a particular city, a particular state or region. And when it comes down to it, something happens to that person or whatever, and let's just say, God forbid, they don't have an insurance plan. You know, you got to say, okay, well, we can't bury him and put him away like he wanted to go, so we got to cremate him because no one is putting up any money. It's like people don't care, you know, and that's sad for you to have that many followers and people can't put up just like $1. Like she said, $1, man, could.
Right.
I mean, come on, we could do anything we want with just $1 concerning Tupac and preserving his legacy. $1. That's it. That's it. But there's just so many excuses going around why I can't do it.
Definitely change the game.
Mm-hmm.
From a million people could definitely change the game.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
I just feel like when his mom worked so hard to do something, like she didn't want his legacy just to die. She wanted to do something. And it's like now it's up to us over at the Legacy Garden to make that happen. And we were in her family, and the actual people that own Legacy Garden, shout out to Mr. Jim Burnett and the Burnett's and Rah Entertainment, they weren't big Tupac followers to even know like what was in their hands. It took them to learn from the few fans that did pop up and reach out to them, and Rolling Stone magazine showing up and things like that made them know the importance and the value of what Legacy Garden actually is. And I'm definitely going to be doing everything I can to preserve that. And I will want my legacy preserved at all costs. That's what I know.
Right.
So, I don't know if we're going to get Gonzoe back on the line, but he is such an awesome character. And, I mean, he just tells it like it is. And I appreciate his honesty.
Cracking up.
And his
I
loyalty.
do know that there was a fan. I do know there was just a fan that said that he wished that, you know, like Pac stuff is scattered all over. Like he's got stuff at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and you know, he's got stuff in Vegas, and they were saying that we shouldn't have to travel the country to see all his stuff. And I said, well, he did have a place where he had a bunch of stuff, and people weren't supporting it. And I said, and I feel very, very guilty about that personally. And I said, and the other fans should feel guilty. And you know, I blame it on, like I said, the celebrity friends and the fans, because we didn't step up and do enough to do what we could to help Afeni to keep the place open. So he just, you know, was saying that he wished that there was a place where we could go, you know, to honor him. And I said, well, that place is gone now because the fans didn't step up. So there was a place, and now it's gone. And you know, I don't mind traveling. I'll travel the world for Pac. I don't mind traveling.
You sure do. You sure do. Kristen, though, I see her everywhere, traveling around on the anniversaries, and it's people like you that give me the willpower to make it more important. And we appreciate you so much. So I don't know, WWETV just notified me that Gonzoe was going to call back in. So we see if we can get this firecracker back on the line. You know, the industry, basically more so than the fans, the industry should have stepped up. They always stepping up for other stuff. They stepped up for the little boy that got bullied at school, and they step up for different things. I don't know if it has to be so newsworthy for them to step up. And, you know, big shout out to T.I. He talked all of that stuff about the statue and how the statue...
That infuriated me. I was so angry when he was talking about that statue. It pissed me off. I love T.I., but I was like, you need to shut up talking about that statue.
We have yet to get a visit from him to take us up on the offer that he would donate his resources for statue. So now here we have Mr. Nigel Benn still has the statue, and we need the statue back where it was at.
Right. Right. I mean, they have a lot of artists, rappers, you know, singers, whatever, who always bring Pac up as their influences, you know, and some of those same people will spend, you know, $250,000 on a Bentley or something, you know what I mean? Easy. But can't give $10 or something or whatever, you know what I mean? It's I think personally it was because of the type of dude that Tupac was, the music that he put out, the message he was putting out. You know, them quote unquote folks didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? So if there's anything that they can do to knock what everybody else trying to do to keep his legacy alive, they go do that. You know, so you know, it's just crazy. It's crazy to me.
Well, we're gonna start a Tupac statue challenge fund, since they always want to do. Since people don't follow stuff unless it's a challenge.
Right.
We need to get started on the challenge of you know, getting on to this. And I will definitely be watching Mr. Benjamin Crump and his team in Time for Justice with the whole Tupac story. And, you know, like he said, they're never going to show us Bigfoot. I don't know.
That's true.
What do you think, Kristen?
What do I think about who killed him?
Yeah.
It was Orlando, but I'm not sure anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Not even after the guy admitting that he was in the car with Orlando.
It could have been somebody else in the car.
Mm-hmm.
You said what?
It could have been somebody else in the car.
Well, he said it was him, Orlando, and two other dudes, and that Orlando pulled the trigger. So do you think he just basically made that up to get out of trouble, or it was
Who said that? His uncle?
No, it wasn't his. Who? It was. Yep. It was Orlando's uncle.
Yeah, Keefe said that. Well, there was other people in the car besides Keefe and the uncle.
Yeah, he said it was four of them in the car.
Mhm. It didn't have to be Orlando.
It could have been like one of those, like the old game, pin the tail on the donkey. It could have been them just pinning the charge on him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's possible. You know, I mean, because I know dudes who took charges for other dudes. You know, when it came down to, you know, holding weight and stuff like that. You know, they wasn't the ones selling it, but because of that one person, you know, that actually did it and was doing that out there, they already had two strikes. So that third strike, they would have been gone, so somebody else took the charge. I mean, it could have been something like that, you know. You just never know.
Yeah, I definitely don't believe that Suge was doing it, because they did say in that one show that if he had been a few inches forward, he would have got shot in the stomach. They showed that, like the ballistics and stuff. I don't believe that theory. I don't believe that at all.
Right.
So do you believe that Suge would have put his own self in harm's way just to get Tupac?
No.
Me either.
Nope.
I mean, he had plenty of other opportunities where he could have got him by himself.
Yeah. No, I don't believe that. And I truly do believe that they had a real relationship, that they had a real bond. You can see it. You can see when they're interacting. That was genuine. That wasn't fake. That was genuine. You could tell that they loved each other like brothers. And I do believe that.
Right.
I do too. I definitely believe that too. I don't believe that even though they saying, he would have lost his money, I don't think he really would have lost his money because even if he was going to distribute Machiavelli Records through Death Row would still win it.
Mhm.
They would have still made money.
Right.
I don't know. The theories are all so crazy, and hopefully tonight we get to.
And I don't believe that he's alive either. I don't believe he's alive in Cuba. To me, I think it's ignorant. People will come and argue with me, and I'm like, I'm not arguing with you. If you believe that, that's what you believe. I don't believe it. So please stop telling me why you think he's alive because I don't. Afeni said he was dead. I respect what she said, so some people have asked me why didn't I ask Afeni like if he was alive and in Cuba, and I said that's extremely ignorant and disrespectful. Who would say something so ignorant to his mother? I said if that's how you feel, they're like, why didn't you ask Afeni if he was alive and in Cuba? I'm like, that's really ignorant and really disrespectful. And I said, and I don't believe that anyway. And I said, and anybody that would say that to her is ignorant. And if that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. But I don't feel that way, so I'm not going to argue with people over it.
Right. It's like
so. What about the pictures that they showed of him and Madonna? Do you think those are old pictures?
Photoshop.
He dated Madonna.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
They showed some pictures that. They showed some pictures that Madonna spent her 50th birthday in Cuba with Tupac.
Well, I think that's ignorant, and if they do have pictures, they would be photoshopped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you really
and let's just say I don't believe that he is, but let's just say that he is alive. Let's say that he was alive, which I truly 100% don't believe he is. Even if he was alive, leave him be. If he did fake his death and he's over there chilling in Cuba with Asada like the people say that he is, then leave him be. If that's what he chose, then we would need to respect that and leave him alone. But that's not what I truly believe. But even if he was, then we need to respect what he chose to do and we need to leave him alone. That's how I feel.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that too.
Right.
Anybody that will go through the extreme to walk away from a whole life wants to be left alone.
Yeah, and if that's what he did do, then respect it. I'm sorry, what was that?
I love Tupac. I know you love Tupac. And
indeed.
I appreciate the way you keep everything so clear and in black and white, and you always check the facts and everything like that. And, there's a lot of people just running around saying things and talking and don't really know what they're talking about. And I mean, at this point, I kind of feel like I'm becoming an expert on this whole situation. So I appreciate everyone who was listening, everyone who called in. It's been a really exciting show. And we're going to get back to this again, especially after this A&E special. Next Tuesday, we're going to chop it up and talk about this again. And, Kristen, thank you so much for calling in. You're always welcome to call in to the Miss Goldi to You radio show. And big shout-out to Don Slims, always holding my radio show down. We also have someone else that was listening from Louisiana. I don't know if they wanted to talk to us or not, but big shout-out to you, too. And if you missed this episode, you can always go back to the site and go to the on-demand episodes. You can go to my page. I will post it on my Facebook, Miss Goldi to You Radio Show page. And I would like everyone to have a good night. And on that note, I'm going to take this out of here with Gonzoe featuring Tupac in the Dog Pound. and we will see you next week on the Ms. Goldi TV radio show, First Lady with the Facts, on Culture Zine Radio Network, where urban culture lives.
Worldwide Entertainment, the television show, on Apple TV and Roku this week via New Television Network.
Worldwide Entertainment TV.com with us. Kids, let go.
Yes, check it out, man. This is your boy Akon, and right now you got it locked to Worldwide Entertainment TV.